Hello, hi everybody. Welcome to Tasien's class. This is Tasien. I am happy to see you here. If you are first time to be on this channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like our videos, please click like and share the video to your network so that the video can reach as many people as possible. So guys, this is our fifth tutorial about R programming, and this tutorial we are going to talk about how to import data from files to R and how to export data from R to files. I hope you are going to enjoy this video. Please don't go, watch from start to the end. So let's start by seeing how to import data from files to R. So guys, there is many ways, many functions that can be used to do so, but the most used function is the read.table function. Let me type it here. It's a read.table function. This function, yeah, but before going deep into this function, note that you can't import a file if the file is not saved in the same location where you are working in. How do you know the location where you are working in? For instance, here you can use the function get. The function is get working direction, getwd, get working directory. If you use this function, you will know the location where you are working in. Let's for instance see where I am currently working in with this, and if I press enter, R will tell me that I am in C, and users, home style, desktop, and Tasien's class. This is the last folder where I am working in. So any file that I want to import should be saved in this folder, Tasien's class. Otherwise, I will not be able to import it. So you need to know where you are working in. Or then you have to set a working directory. You have to set the working directory so that you are sure where you are working on. And to set a working directory, you can use the function setwd, and if, for instance, in this case, if I want to work in a Tasien's class, I will have to write setwd, set working direction, and then you type these quotation marks, then C, and then double points and slash, then users as this here, then users or Mr. then everything that you want to type up to the last folder location you want. Then in this case I am copying this because I don't have to type it, but you have to type this way: C, users, home Mr. desktop, and then the last folder where you are working in, and then you click enter. In this case, I am sure that I am working in a Tasien's class folder. And another way to set the working direction is to pass here at the top of this RStudio to session. If you click to session, and then you go to this set working directory, you can set to source file location. This, if you click to here, it will direct you to the folder where your file is saved if you are using the R script file. And if you want to choose a directory, then you can just go here, choose directory, and then I will go all the way to desktop and users and home style desktop, and then in desktop I will go to Tasien's class. Then I click Tasien's class and open. This also will set our directory to user home style desktop Tasien's class. Then like that, I will be able to import any file saved in Tasien's class. So then let's use this function read.table to import one data file which is saved in my folder called Tasieni's class, and the file name of the data that I want to import, guys, this data set. It's this one, this Excel file, and it is saved under name complex pulmonary atresia data. So I need to know this name, complex pulmonary atresia data. So then here in R, I have to specify the name and it should be in quotation mark inside the quotation marks. Then you add that name and the extension of that file. It's CSV file, and then we can specify if the first line in that file is the name of the variables or not. Then the header equal, in this case it's true because in that file the first line is the names of the variables, and you can specify the separation of variables in that file. In this case, in my file, the data is separated by semicolons. So then I have to put inside this quotation mark the semicolon to say that the values are separated by the semicolon. Yeah, you can add many arguments. If you want to know those arguments, you can ask from the help. But if I just stop here and do it this way and click enter, then I will get my data sets here. Yeah, let's go to the top. So the first line here, it will be the names of arguments and names of variables, and each value at the logs. Each row is the observation. Let me save it. Let me like call it a name, guys. Let me go down here and I can go back here. So let me, for instance, say that the data that I want to import, I want to call it data. Data and data, then equal read.table. Then I put everything here. Let's click enter. Then I will have to get our data here. If you see here, if I open it here, I will see everything here. This is our data set already imported in R, and we can access everything. For instance, if we want to access this variable age pre-s, we can come here to our data. The function is let me type it down here. Let me I close this reader, and then here, if I want, for instance, that function, I can like click write data, and if you remember, we use the dollar to access the variables in a data frame, because the data that we have already imported is saved as a data frame. Then if we use dollar here, this dollar sign, we can be able to choose which value we want to choose from the variables that are in our data set. Let's say that we want this variable here. Then we can see what it is. We have this data. We can access any variable or manipulate the data as we want. The most important thing is that we have our data already imported in R here. So guys, that's how we can import the data using the read.table data. But there is many functions that can be used, and the other function that I want to say here is the function called read.csv. This function, and the other function is the read.csv2. These two functions are used to read files that are saved as CSV files, and this first function read CSV is used when the values in that file are separated by comma, and this second one is used when the values in that file are separated by semicolon, and the decimal numbers in that file are indicated by a comma character. Yeah, so these two functions both for comma separated files, but that's the difference between the two. Okay, we can apply this second function to our data file because the values in that file, the file that we have just imported, are separated by semicolon. Let's use it and see. Let me call let me use another name. Let me call it data 1, and now in this case I'm going to use read.csv2, and again I have to specify the file name .csv, and header equal true. And in this case now I don't need the separation character because this function, my function is used for the data, the files whose values are separated by semicolon, so I don't need to specify that the separation is semicolon, but you can specify it, but in this case I don't need it. But if you specify it, it doesn't matter. So let's leave it. Then click enter, we get our data there, data 2. So data 1, not data 2. We get our data 2. So we get our data 2, data 1 here. So and it has the same variables as data. Yeah, and you can access the variables as before. Yeah, you can access the variables. Then say for instance data and the data 1, and then you put Dora, then you will see all the variables and you can choose any variable that you want. Then me choose this one for instance, then you will see the values there. And if you want to see all the variables here, you can for instance use the head function, head and data 2 or data which anyone between the two that I have already imported. Then if we head it, data 2 is not known, of course it's not data 2. I have called it data 1, not data 2. Then data 1, not data 2, data 1, yeah. That one is not known. Yeah, please, you have to remember exactly the name that you have given. It's data 1, not that. Yeah, so then just please write it correctly. If you don't write it correctly, it is going to give you an error. It's data 1. Yeah, like this. Yeah, so if I head it, you see, I will see at least all the variables and 5 values for each variable. Yeah, in the data that I have already saved. So you see, we have imported a data file, data from an external file. Yeah, guys, I hope you can do it by yourself. You can import any file from external files to R. That's how we can import. But there is different ways to import data from files to R. Yeah, so now that we know how to import the data from external files, let's see how we can export data from R to an external file. Yeah, let's, for instance, from our data set here that we have from this data file, from this data set, data 1 that we already have, yeah, and let's say that we want to extract a part of this data which only contains data with variable sex whose values is equal to 1. As we have seen that the variable sex, let's see it again, variable sex, this variable sex has values 0 and 1. So we want to extract only the part of our data set with values of sex equal to 1. Let me call the new data set. Let me call it new data, and we want a subset. Do you guys remember how to use the function subset? Yeah, let me subset our data set data 1. How do we want to subset it? I want to take a part of this data where the variable sex is equal to 1. I only want this data set, and I'm saving it to a data frame called new data, like this. Let us explore the new data that we have. We can, for instance, head new data like this, yeah. And if we can go to the variable sex, where is the variable sex? Here, so you can see that we on here the variable sex here we only have values 1 1 1, and now that we have a new data set which is different of the which contain the values that are not the same as the values that we have in the file that we have imported, and we want to save this data into a data set. And how do we save this data set? We use the function. We can use the function read.table, or we can use the function read.csv if we want to save our data as a CSV file. So how do we use these functions? For instance, if I use the function write.table, I can, for instance, write write.table and I have to specify the file name, and I give it name. Let me call it new data, and you have to specify the extension that you want the file to be saved at. Let me say that I want the file to be saved at a text file. Yeah. What do we but before specifying the file name, you have to specify the data that you want to save. The data that I want to save in this case, it is the new data frame, and then you specify the file name like this. Then if I click enter, new data is not known. Sorry for bad typing. It's not new data. Here there is an error here. It's not new data. Let me clean this A. Then new data, and then you want it to be saved as under this name. Yeah. Then enter like this. If I click enter like this, and if I go to our working direction folder, I will see a data frame, a data file created under this name and under the extension text. Let's go there. We are working in Tassiani's class folder. The Tassiani's class folder is on desktop, and desktop Tassiani's file. And if you can see the name that I have here, I have the new data text file. Then we open it, new data, and we can open it, for instance, with Notepad. And let me open it just now. See, these are the data set that I have. This is the file that I have saved. Yeah, it opens like this because it is saved as text. And you can save it as an Excel file if you want. Then if you want to save it as an Excel file, you can change this extension into XLS or into CSV. Then you can use this function read.table and what do you want to save? I want to save the new data and how under which name, then new data. But now I change the extension. I want it to be saved as an Excel file of the form CSV like this. And if I click enter like this and I go back to my folder, Tassiani's class, I will find here. You see, the new data is here as an Excel file. If I open it, you will see that it will be a comma separated Excel file here. These are the data. Yeah. And if you don't use, let me close this. If you don't use the write.table, you can use write.csv, for instance. Then the file will be saved as a CSV file. Then in this case, you specify the data that you want to save. It's the new data. And then the name, you give it a name. And the name is, you can also call it, just my data.csv. If you click enter and you go to Tassiani's class, and me go to Tassiani's class, then I will find my data here. You see, this is my data, and if you open it, it is open as an Excel file. So guys, that's how we can export data from R to an Excel file or a text file, any file that you want. Yeah guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial and I hope to see you again. Please don't forget to click like if you have enjoyed our video and share the video to your network. Thank you. Bye.